Are you ready to do the show?
I'm waiting on you, man.
Let's do the show.
Welcome to Straight Shooting Firearms Talk Show presented by MyGunDiary.com and Drake Fine Sporting Arms of El Paso. With your hosts, Felix Mena and J. Scott Drake. And now, here they are.
Hey, we are back. That is loud, isn't it?
Super loud.
Super loud. Welcome to episode 9 of Straight Shooting Firearms Talk Show. I am your host, Felix Mena. Alongside me, the man who has become a hero to lizards everywhere.
That is true.
He is Master Gunsmith, owner, proprietor of Drake Fine Sporting Arms, Mr. J. Scott Drake. Oh, you're supposed to say like hello or something. Like the only thing you have to do is say hi.
Uh-huh.
I was going to give you a big round of applause.
I always get the little applause.
I said, no, tonight, because you're a hero to lizards everywhere, you're going to get the big round of applause.
Yeah, I should get some kind of award.
Hey, just like always, Straight Shooting is proudly brought to you by Cerakote Southwest, the only certified Cerakote applicators in Southwest Texas, specializing in custom Cerakote applications for firearms. With over 120 colors to choose from, visit Cerakote Southwest and order a custom Cerakote job for your firearm today. They also offer custom laser engraving and other services, and follow them on Instagram at Cerakote Southwest. And right in front of you, you've got the official Straight Shooting Firearms Talk Show, Cerakote Southwest M&P 9mm, and then right behind it is my very first gunsmithing job that I ever did. It's a Smith & Wesson M&P with a nickel boron slide, and we put an Apex trigger on it, and I'm going to become even more of a gunsmith in a couple of weeks because I have ordered...
Could you...
I have ordered tritium front and rear sights. These were on sale from Bud's Gun Shop, and your competition, I'm sure. Well, not really your competition because they do online sales. Yeah. But $40 for tritium night sights. I couldn't say no. And so you're going to teach me how to, or maybe Steve will teach me how to do it.
We'll let Steven teach you.
How to put sights, replace sights on a firearm. So, hey, I said that you had become a hero to lizards everywhere. Tell the viewers about that story. How you?
It's super exciting. I rescued a lizard out of my neighbor's pool.
Did you have to like hop your neighbor's fence? That was my first question. Is like, did you have to hop the fence?
No, our retaining wall. I can actually see down into their yard, so I just used my pole and.
So you didn't go into their yard from
I did it from my yard.
That's got to be a long pole. But
well, I'd already decided if it doesn't reach, then he's just screwed, man.
Yeah, I guess so. Hey, I'm back in my element. Last week we traded places.
Right.
I feel much more comfortable on this side.
So do I, man. It's so much less pressure over here. Just
Yep. I've got all the buttons. I manipulate all the buttons right here and all the knobs. I get to turn them.
You can't see it, but they all go to 11.
How would you describe? How would you rate the experience of being on this side and hosting the show last week? How was that? Was it traumatizing?
No.
How'd you like it?
It was all right. Your product plug.
Let me tell you what's on the show tonight. We've got an excellent Guns in the News segment. We're going to show a short video, excuse me, and some photos of a muzzleloader barrel explosion.
Yeah, man, this is a weird muzzleloader too. It's like a Remington 700 action muzzleloader.
I didn't realize that a muzzleloader could also have a brake on it. I mean, a bolt on it.
Yeah. There's a company that makes these things, man. I didn't know any. I've seen the company before, but I never really looked into it.
This story I came across on Facebook through El Paso Pew Pew Pew. A lot of the firearms owners and shooters here in El Paso belong to this group. They share a lot of good information. I get a lot of stories from there. So this story is not out on the news. It's strictly a Facebook story, but it's really quite...
is this a local guy? I don't know.
I don't think it is, but the video it's going to shock you, the video. And then we've also got another video of a road rage incident that caught my attention. I'll tell you why.
I don't know what this guy did, man. He really pissed those guys off.
A group of motorcyclists and a guy driving a pickup truck, and a bystander who happens to drive up on the scene comes out with a shotgun, and another really big belly bystander comes out and uses kind of his belly as an intimidation tool, tactic, and it's quite funny. It's the best part of the whole
It
video.
would have scared me.
It's a scary ability. And then it's not often that I get to combine both of my hobbies into one story, but tonight we're going to see some video and a story.
It's hard to fit lute playing into, those little medieval guitars, whatever they call them.
This one is going to raise some eyebrows. A photographer, I'm a photographer. A photographer was shot by a police officer who mistook his camera and tripod for a gun. But that's not the shocking thing about this story. We'll get into the news in a few moments so you can hear what happened. But the shocking thing is really, I think, an eye opener as well, because I don't want to give away. People got to stay tuned to find out what happened. But it's excellent. And then in the gunsmithing job of the week, we've got we're going to talk about
Steven did one.
The gunsmith apprentice.
Yeah.
Steven we'll get to know.
That was an opera, wasn't it?
Steven the Gunsmith Apprentice, the opera.
It should be.
We can make it one.
Yeah.
I've been trying to think of a project that you and I could do together offline. Maybe make a short film. Maybe we'll make a musical opera of Steven the Gunsmith Apprentice.
Okay.
Can he sing?
We'll find out.
We'll find out. And then in tonight's You Show Me Yours, You'll Show Me Mine, we're going to discuss M44s. There was an argument, a debate online about if I saw a picture of a bayonet, an M44 with the bayonet extended. The Mosin Nagant M44 has a bayonet that's attached, and I saw it was a shooting competition, and the guy who was shooting had the bayonet extended, and I was always under the impression that if you shoot a rifle with the bayonet extended or the bayonet attached, it's less accurate.
Who's shooting a competition with the Nagant?
It was like a vintage firearm competition. But apparently these people online said that no, that the Mosin Nagant M44 actually was zeroed out of the factory with the bayonet extended. And therefore, it's more accurate with the bayonet extended. So you're going to see a short video. I went out with my friend Galen, who had been a live studio audience.
It goes from a 6-inch group to a 5.5-inch group, or what?
You'll see. We shot some video. We shot 3 different Mosin Nagant M44s. And we shot groups with the bayonet folded and the bayonet extended, and you'll see the results. But we're also going to talk about an M44 project briefly that you're working on, and that'll be...
Which is something that I never thought anybody would say again, that I'm working on a Nagant project. But my opinion on them. Yeah, they're neat, but why keep it like that when you can cut one up and make it cooler?
We're going to talk about that a little bit with the You Show Me Yours, I'll Show You Mine. But also in You Show Me Yours, I'll Show You Mine, you have a customer, Andrew, who works across the street at iHeartRadio, and he's doing an interesting project with a Remington 700. He wants to make a long-range sniper shot from 1,000 yards.
Yeah, so basically Andrew is trying to get into long-range shooting.
But he's documenting everything.
Right. He's documenting everything for his blog or vlog or one of those things.
And so he was in the gun shop in the workshop in the back with his camera, and so I was recording him, recording you, and so we got some video of that. And
right, we should have put that on Facebook Live of you recording him, recording.
That would have been a good
me.
Facebook Live, because then you'd have him recording you, me just recording him, and then
a daisy chain of recording
everybody. So with that, it's time to get into the news.
This week in firearms news and current events.
As I mentioned at the top of the show, it's an excellent segments tonight on Guns and News. A lot of great stories, and the first one we're going to talk about is this muzzle loader, a Remington. The story I came across on Facebook through the El Paso Pew 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 page. And, a lot of times there's a lot of stories and pictures that people share. They're not that impressive. They're not eye-catching, but this one gets your attention. And we're going to blow it up full screen. We're going to replay it a few times because it's just like a 5 or 6 second video. It's a muzzle loader, but before I play it, this muzzle loader has a bolt on it as well.
It's based on a Remington 700. From what I saw,
why would it have a bolt on it?
Because it operates like a bolt action with a muzzle loader barrel. It's got a little cartridge, a black powder cartridge that goes in, and then you load like a muzzle loader, but it shoots like a center fire. I don't understand. I don't get the principle of it. Well, I don't know why.
This shooter, I definitely got the principle of it, because as you see, very scary. And so a word of caution: the photos we're about to show and the video we're about to show might get your attention and may be sensitive to some viewers. So Here we go.
Whoever that guy was, we just made a... Oh.
Yeah, we're going to replay it again. You'll see it's a very quick video. But what happens here, the guy's lining up a shot, and the barrel just, boom, explodes. Now, you had some theories as to...
you know, I'm not going to surmise what happened here, man, honestly, but...
Scott, before we rolled cameras, you thought you had some good theories as to why.
Well, I mean, yeah, there's all kinds of theories that you know.
You had a specific one. You noticed in the picture. We're gonna.
Well, I can't say for sure. I mean, I don't know. This guy probably knows what he's doing, but
no one can. Let me. We're gonna go to the photo.
So I think I've got the web page still pulled up on my computer. So I just want to check real quick and make sure that
we're gonna pull up the photo. You noticed something that I thought was eye catching. That you noticed that the cleaning rod. The
ramrod is missing out of the holder underneath the barrel.
So it's possible. Okay, and I'm just saying it's possible. We both agree.
Anything is possible, but yeah, it is a possibility that the way that came apart is maybe the guy forgot and left the ramrod in the barrel. I'm not saying he did.
Right.
You know.
But it is possible.
It is possible.
Of course. Because where is the ramrod? It's not there. It's not in the picture.
And I'm not saying that the guy didn't have it over at the truck or something,
sure,
you know, but
right. But that a few people, you know, that were commenting said that more than likely there was some sort of blockage.
Well, a barrel doesn't do that really unless there's a blockage. I mean, you can overload it, you'll get other problems, but typically a barrel is not going to split like that without some kind of blockage.
Yeah. Our hobby, our sport of shooting is not without its dangers. So while you're out there, please take care. Take as many precautions as you can. Wear eye pro, wear ear pro.
Hey, you know what? And even if you do it right, there's always a chance that something can go wrong.
Yes. And so you'll see that now this guy, he did suffer some injury to his hand, but it could have been a lot worse. So they were thankful that it wasn't worse than this, but there you go. You can see what can happen with accidents out on the range.
It looks like he kept all his fingers, so that's good.
Yeah. So there you get one last look at it, and yeah, very very shocking video. And we hope that you're out there just enjoying yourself shooting and being safe. And we don't know what happened, but hopefully we'll find out and report back. Story. Now this is the road rage incident, the belly. I'm going to call it the belly road rage.
The belly incident.
Yeah. All right, let's go full screen on this. So we've got some bikers out for a drive, and they have an encounter with this pickup truck. Right there you can tell they're having words back and forth. Oh, let's pull over. There's a guy in this pickup truck on the left as well, just a bystander. And then another pickup truck pulls up, a bystander. Here comes the belly. Okay. And the guy in the red pickup truck, look, he comes out with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Everybody's hysterical. The guy with the shotgun just told another biker to back up or he'll blow his head off.
Just stop him! Stop him!
Here comes the belly.
Was he got a little pocket knife or something?
Yeah, he's got a pocket knife. But more intimidating is the belly.
Okay, so this guy's still getting stomped over here.
Yeah, he's knocked out.
I'll kill your father! Alright. No, come on! I'm gonna say this one more time! I'll take that gun! I'll have a problem with you. Have a problem with him? Get out of this motherfucker!
Okay, so...
I'm a biker myself.
Yeah, some other stuff goes on, but so this is... Let me give you some tips here.
Okay.
All right. Growing up where I grew up, all right, this is rural. I mean, it's out in the country somewhere. I grew up in the middle of nowhere, Texas. I'm a reformed redneck for the most part. Yeah, right. So if you get into an altercation on a backwoods country road, and there are more than one of these rural people out there.
Rural people.
These are my people, honestly.
Yeah.
And if you get into an altercation like this, if you're an outsider, it doesn't matter what you did or what they did. These guys in the country are going to stick together, and they're going to kick your ass.
It looked like the bikers were outsiders.
Right.
Yeah, it definitely looked like these guys in the pickup trucks were locals, and I think rednecks take it to a whole nother level of. Right?
And we do. I mean, and to this day, like I'm more prone to side with a redneck randomly than I will with somebody else.
So there was some back and forth about what precipitated this incident, but regardless of who cut off who, both parties took it to another level. The biker by pulling up and talking trash to the guy, and then they said let's go at it. They both pulled over and stopped, and they started a fight. But then lo and behold, some bystanders come out with a shotgun and a pocket knife in the belly.
And like I said, I don't know what prompted this, but it looked to me, and I'm just saying, it looked to me like the biker was running his mouth to the guy in the truck. In the country, it's not the city. You can't run your mouth to a guy in a truck like that because he's going to stomp you. He's going to stomp you into the curb.
And the biker got stomped, for sure. The biker definitely got stomped. All right, let's move on to our next story. And so this is the one about the photographer.
But first, a newspaper photographer is shot by a sheriff's deputy who apparently mistook his camera for a weapon. Photographer Andy Grimm had pulled over to take pictures of a traffic stop. 2 News reporter Dana Smith has new information we're learning in the investigation.
Photographer Andy Grimm said he was setting up his tripod and his camera when he was shot. It happened right here in front of this local restaurant. The sheriff's department said in a Facebook post about an hour ago, the deputy involved has been placed on administrative leave pending the outcome of the investigation and will attend critical incident debriefing.
How can an officer mistake a camera for a gun?
Residents of the tight-knit New Carlisle community say they're shocked by the incident. The New Carlisle News says their photographer, Andy Grimm, was on his way to take photos of a lightning storm when he noticed Deputy Jake Shaw on a traffic stop. Grimm pulled over in Studebaker's restaurant's parking lot to take a photo. He said he had his camera and tripod in his hands when he was shot. Grimm said, "I was just doing my job." The Clark County Sheriff's Department says they'll address the questions many have after this incident tomorrow during a news conference. They wouldn't talk on camera today.
I think the officer should have taken his time to examine the situation before he pulled out his weapon.
Okay, so yes, that's the best comment in this story right here, that the officer should have taken his time to examine the situation. Now, there was body cam footage from the police officer, and what you're going to see here, it happens very quickly.
It's super dark, too.
It's super dark, yep, we're going to talk about that as well. But I want you to notice, there is no warning at all. No put your hands up, no drop what you've got in your hands. He just shoots.
I'm 22. I need people here now. I need a medic here now. Andy. I got shots fired.
That was the other thing you didn't talk about.
Yeah,
He called the guy by name because
they're friends.
Right.
The photographer and the police officer are friends.
Yeah, he shot his friend.
Without any warning. So now, it's dark. You are a police officer and you're doing a traffic stop, right? And across the street, you see somebody pulling something out of a bag.
Right.
Right?
Well, even in broad daylight, I got a little bit anxious when she was pulling that one out of her car at the beginning. It's a very threatening piece of equipment. Now, we've got them all around here. It makes me really nervous.
Yeah, we've got 3 tripods. None of them look like
4.
4. Yeah. Now, we love our law enforcement officers. We support them. And yes, it is possible in dark to look across the street or across the parking lot and see somebody pulling something out of a car that looks like a rifle. However, you've got to, I think they have a duty to put your hands up, drop what's in your hands, stop what you're doing, stop. There was no warning. He just pulled out his gun and shot.
Well, you know those things we did in the Army, it was a requirement where you had to identify the vehicles and like, yeah, blow that one up and don't blow that one up.
Right.
Maybe the cops need that. Like, no, that's a tripod.
I don't know.
Don't shoot that guy.
It's just a sad story all around because they did know each other.
The guy survived, right?
Yes, he's recovering. He did not suffer the gunshot wound. He suffered 2 gunshot wounds. None of them were life-threatening. He doesn't want to press charges, that sort of thing. They're friends, and I guess he knows it was an honest mistake. However, I think there are some questions that need to be answered with that sort of thing. So as a photographer myself, I could be out, on Mesa Street and shooting a sunset, and then a cop, maybe is arresting somebody, and I want to get some, photos, and I turn my camera, and boom, all of a sudden they shoot me. Bang, bang, bang. I wouldn't want that to happen.
No, I wouldn't want that to happen either, but we can prevent that because I've got spare PT belts at home.
Oh, yeah. Wear some reflective belts or put them on my tripod. Hey, with that, it's time to get into you show me yours, I'll show you mine.
You show me yours, I'll show you mine.
All right, so tonight we're talking about M44s. Yeah, and I've got one back here. The M44 Mosin Nagant is an absolutely gorgeous rifle. I love the way they look. And one distinct feature about them is that they come with a bayonet attached. Yep. And you didn't know that I was going to go shoot M44s and do a video for the show this week.
No, you left me high and dry working down here.
However, by coincidence, you had gotten, I don't know how you got the idea to do it, but you want to do a Mosin Nagant project. Tell me a little bit about it.
Yeah, and like I said, that's not something that you're prone to hear me say. But because the Mosin Nagant, the M44, has an interesting feature to it that when you shoot it at night, it throws a giant fireball.
Yeah, let me pull up some photos here. It's legendary for the fireball that comes out of the muzzle.
If you only need to make one shot at night, this is the gun to do it because you can't follow that up.
Yeah, and these are just random photos off the internet that will show people some samples of the fireball. But it is impressive, and the ground shakes when this thing shoots for sure. Now, what is your project? What do you want to do?
We're going to take this to a whole nother level. I just said a whole nother, which I hate.
Okay, I'll make a note of that.
Yeah. Irregardless of the context.
Regardless.
So anyway, we're going to take it to a whole nother level. That made me cringe. Jeez.
Yeah, I got you.
Anyway, so we've got a special muzzle brake that my guys I have a company that makes blanks for my muzzle brakes now. They do it off of my design. I finish them out, in accordance with the rifle, whatever the rifle needs. But they came up with a prototype for me that they thought would be something super cool. However, because physics, man.
They did what?
They drilled the ports in this muzzle brake at an angle, which good on you guys, whatever. Physics, however, doesn't work that way in the first place, and
they are what?
They're ported backwards, so they actually throw the blast out to the front, which would be, if the physics did work that way, a recoil increaser.
Now you decided to run with it though.
But we're going to run with it. We got a prototype because they were cool enough to make one, and it's not going to be a complete failure. So what we're going to do is we're going to adapt an M44 and make this thing really cool. I want to throw like a 10-foot wide fireball, man.
Right, and so you're going to use that muzzle brake's, what do you want to call it, a blemish, to your advantage to make the biggest M44 fireball ever seen. And we're going to go out and shoot some video of it when it's done. Yeah,
we'll compare it to a regular one, and then we'll get some video of the one with the muzzle brake on it.
And so what I did this week, the reason M44s came into my fold this week is because online there was a debate, like I mentioned at the top of the show, about whether or not the M44 would be more accurate and shoot tighter groups if you shoot it with the bayonet extended versus shooting it with the bayonet folded. Now, traditionally speaking, you as an excellent long-range shooter might know that a firearm with a bayonet attached is going to be less accurate. Yes or no?
War rifle, who knows?
Yeah. I always assumed that a firearm with a bayonet attached would be less accurate. However, they say that the M44s were zeroed out of the factory with the bayonet extended. So I went out with my friend Galen, who's been here as part of our live studio audience, and we shot 3 sets of groups with 3 different M44s. And here we see some groups with the bayonet extended, and the groups were pretty tight. This is with the first M44. And overall, I would say that yes, the groups were tighter and more accurate with the bayonet extended. However, after we turned the cameras off, we just shot for fun with the bayonet folded, and we were aiming at smaller targets. You know, when the next time a target pops up here on the video, I'll show you. And our groups were extremely tight, the tightest of the day. At first we aimed for this middle target, but then for fun we were aiming at these smaller targets, and our groups were much tighter, and I just wondered if that was just because we were aiming for a smaller target. But anyways, the bottom line is overall, yes, the M44s and the Type 53 Chinese model that we shot, the groups were tighter and more accurate with the bayonet extended. So there you have that. And I don't know, if you have a comment about it at home, if you're watching us on YouTube, comment, tell us what you think. Do you shoot the M44? Is it more accurate with the bayonet extended, or is it more accurate with the bayonet folded? And with that, it's time to bring our guest on for our Gunsmithing Job of the Week.
It's time for the Gunsmithing Job of the Week.
All right, so our guest tonight on our Gunsmithing Job of the Week is Stephen, the Gunsmith Apprentice. Let's give him a round of applause. He deserves a round of applause, just like everybody.
Thank you.
Now, Stephen is a bit camera shy. He's not one to, we've asked him if he wanted to come on the show before. And
AKA not Steven or AK Steve.
He doesn't like to be called Stephen? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, well,
I just rather be the man behind the scenes, but unfortunately I'm here today.
I'm saying he doesn't like, did I say Stephen?
No, you're fine.
Oh.
No.
I thought you just said he doesn't like to be called Stephen or AK Steve.
No, it just doesn't, the whole not being on camera thing. So we were joking about labeling him on camera with the blackout bar, and then not Stephen or AK Steve, because he always seemed to get him on video shooting the AK.
All right. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So Stephen is your apprentice. Is that is that correct? Yeah, gunsmith apprentice.
Yeah. We're learning.
How did you guys meet, and how did it come about that he was going to come learn gunsmithing from you?
I actually met Scott because I was a customer, and I brought in a rifle to get my scope leveled and installed on my rifle.
But then how did it transition to where, hey, come in and I'll teach you gunsmithing?
I just brought it up to Scott and told him I wanted to learn some gunsmithing.
Give me a job.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. So,
it works for me, man.
Yeah. Hey, show everybody your phone while you're down there checking it. Pull it out. Let's show it on camera. Look at this thing. Look at it. I mean, come on, right?
Don't make fun of me.
For Christmas this year, his birthday, we insist that he get. Well, now's a perfect opportunity. The iPhone X and the iPhone 8 are coming out. So, yeah, I definitely want to get you something new. All right. So I came into the shop. Now, I would have made an excellent World War II dictator on the losing side. And let me tell you why. There's a segue here. Because you know how when the Allies invaded Normandy and nobody wanted to wake up Hitler because he was sleeping, right? And to allow the tanks, the panzer divisions to move to the coast, no one wanted to wake him up. I like my daily naps, right? I'm usually nap from 1:30 to 3.
Yeah, I know not to call.
But I got a call. I got a call from you the other day, and I knew it must have been important. So I came down to the shop. It was about Andrew, which we'll get into here in a minute.
Which he actually napped on the couch.
I did. I took a 10-minute power nap. But while I was here, Steve was working on a project. He was working on a butt pad for a shotgun, and I've got a little video of it here. And as we're going through it, what I was hoping that Steve would do for the viewers is tell us a bit about what he's doing, what he's learned from you, and how you're enjoying learning to be a gunsmith. So tell us a bit about what's going on, the ups and downs of working with Scott and being a gunsmith.
It's pretty awesome. What we were doing is we're re-drilling the holes for a new butt pad, and obviously sanding it down, sanding the butt pad down so everything was flush. I
mean, how much of knowledge did you have before coming in and learning from Scott?
I had plenty of knowledge about ARs and AKs, but Scott with the bolt-action shotguns, it was totally different.
And what about, fixing a butt pad and that sort of thing? Had you ever done that before?
That was my first time ever doing a butt pad.
Oh.
Scott was walking me through it step by step.
This was the first time?
First time. So we're re-drilling holes for the new butt pad.
Right. Now, your first attempt at this, ended in, I'm not going to use the word failure, but
Oh, it was a failure.
it had to be redone.
Yes,
Yeah,
it did.
yeah.
Several times, actually. I got it on the third try.
The third, oh, that's all right. Third time's a charm. Yeah. And so, but that's how you learn, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's you know.
And doing a butt pad is not as easy as Scott makes it seem in the shop. I watch him do it all the time, and it's like, oh, it's really not that hard. I was completely wrong.
No, you're fired. No, it's not easy, and you know I was back there watching you and filming, and it takes a tremendous amount of skill, and you do have to get it right the first time, otherwise, boom, start over again.
Yeah, especially if it's a customer gun they wanted
Yeah,
pretty close to perfect as possible.
but in the end, it turned out okay.
It turned out okay, and it was a 10 gauge I did it for, and we went out shooting yesterday.
Right.
And it was amazing to shoot.
And so you want to make a career out of this?
I just like doing it as a hobby, so
All right.
I just enjoy working on guns. It's a puzzle. Scott's trusting me more to do different projects.
Me too. It's a really expensive hobby. I'm in this for about 130,000, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, it's more expensive than any of my hobbies. And then now, while I was back there, in comes Andrew. Would you grab that Remington 700 behind you? This is, and you can just put it right in front of Scott there. Just you can put the
Here, I'll take it.
the stock over it somehow.
All right, here. Let me point it at Felix like normal.
Please do.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so while I was here filming this, in comes Andrew, which is the original reason why you called me.
Right.
And you said that Andrew wanted to film for his blog or his vlog about he wants to make 1,000-yard shot with this rifle.
Yeah, he's chronicling his quest to hit 1,000-yard target, and he's not a long-range shooter, so he's starting from scratch.
Right. You know, you are in front of the camera quite a bit these days.
I know.
You got the show, you got Andrew, you might have this other thing going on as well, and you seem quite comfortable in front of the camera. I'm quite impressed with that.
I'm on a lot of drugs, man. Nah, I wish.
So what are you doing to this rifle? What does he want to do? Tell me about this.
So we kind of sat down and talked about what he wanted, and Andrew came in and he said, hey man, I want a 308 for this project I'm doing. And I said, okay, what's your project you want to do? And he said, I want to shoot 1,000 yards, but I want a good hunting rifle that's crossover, that I can do more than one thing with. And so we talked about it, and I was like, look, for a good 1,000-yard gun and a crossover gun for hunting, you don't want a 308. You're already putting yourself in a disadvantage. So we sat down, we talked about some other stuff. And for what he wants to do, we decided on the 300 Win Mag, cartridge-wise. Then it came to picking the actual rifle, and he's trying to do it on a budget. So this is not, unlimited budget, throw $3,000 at a rifle and then put a $1,500 scope on it.
That definitely adds a twist to the story is, hey, I want to make 1,000-yard shot on a budget.
Right.
Yeah.
So on the budget that he's on, we decided that this Remington 700 long range in 300 Win Mag is probably the best choice within the confines of his budget. We ordered the rifle. We talked about scope mounts and stuff. We've got a Weaver 20-minute of angle, Picatinny rail for it, primary arms, I think it's a 4-14 first focal plane mil scope, vortex rings. All of this stuff is really reasonably priced, man. You can put all this stuff together for not a whole lot. This Caldwell bipod, I think
How much more work does he need to do on that rifle before he's ready to go out and try to make that shot?
So we've got to pick the right cartridge for the gun. Load development if Andrew wants to get into that, but he's trying to do it, off the shelf ammo, cheaply as possible. Not cheap, but within the realm of the confines of a normal guy trying to do this thing.
Yeah.
So what I've done for Andrew is, because this stock is a really good stock from the factory, actually, I went ahead and bedded this rifle just to give it a little more stability. So the next things that we're going to talk about on it would be, I already put a rail level on it too. This is a must for long range shooting. If you don't have one of these, you're at a disadvantage already. So he's got a great setup the way that it sits right now.
Well, I talked to him yesterday, and I'm going to go out with him when he's ready to attempt this shot. We're going to document it and come back and show it on the show. And then when he has his video up and ready, we'll post links to it on straightshootingshow.com. So a very interesting product from a customer at the shop, and he works right across the street, Andrew. So we look forward to reporting back on that. And holy moly, we actually are 4 minutes overtime tonight. Yeah.
All right.
It goes by fast. Perhaps that's the universe's way of saying we should bump the show up to 45 minutes.
It could be.
We'll see what the fans say.
I don't know. It could go either way, though, man, because we could just end up spending the next 10 minutes sitting here looking at each other.
Hey, next week we're going to be off the air next week as I am taking a vacation going to Seattle, Tacoma, which is why our dear over here has a Seattle Thunderbirds minor league hockey team hat on. But we will be back in 2 weeks with new audio equipment potentially. We're going to switch out the broadcast mics for these cool headset wireless mics.
I want to be unencumbered with my microphone.
Yeah, I think it'll be much better. It was an excellent suggestion. And then,
I could do the show myself next week if you think.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, but
it would be. Do you remember that scene from Wayne's World with Garth on camera by himself? Like,
oh, that's good.
Do you guys remember that scene from Scanners?
I'll have to put a clip of that. Hey, thanks for watching. Be sure to visit straightshootingshow.com and check out Scott's bio at the bottom of the page on straightshootingshow.com. That's going to be an on-running joke. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you all in 2 weeks when we are back with another great episode of Straight Shooting Firearms Talk Show.
Stay tuned for the next episode of Straight Shooting when we take another shot.